Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And I'm Cisco Garcia.
And I actually got something to open with. Have you guys been watching the news at all about the whole about the Slayer guitar player?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Jeff Henneman, tragically, he died. And I never listen to a whole lot of Slayer. I have a few Slayer albums. I like him. I don't really know a whole lot about him. Metal's not really my thing. But I got a lot of respect for the guy. So it's really sad he died. He died from a flesh-eating bacteria of some sort.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks. Oh, well, yeah, because Slayer... Those guys...
That's a metal way to go, though. Flesh-eating bacteria.
Sounds like an album.
Yeah. But tragically... Well, actually, all right, here's the thing. Usually when these fuckers get involved, not Slayer, but when these fuckers, I want to mention, get involved, I'm just like, go the fuck away. What's wrong with you people? But in this case, I'm like, go ahead and do it, because I just want to see what's going to fucking happen. Those inbred illbilly fucks, the Westboro Baptist Church, announced they're going to protest his funeral. Usually I'd say, because, you know, these assholes, they go around to, like, gay people's funerals and protest, and they go to soldiers' funerals and protest, holding signs like, God hates fags, we hate you, burn in hell, all that stuff. Yeah. I'm going to say, usually I'd be like, for fuck's sake, let these people mourn in peace. They just lost someone they love. This case would say, do it. Because I want to see what the Slayer fans do to these fucks.
Yeah.
I want to see Fred helps his head on a fucking pike.
I'm surprised that church hasn't been blown up yet.
Yeah,
like,
you think somebody would just went by and just destroyed it?
You know, it's like, okay, if back in the the 60s, if like the South, the KKK would bomb black churches, why has not someone bombed this church? Mm-hmm. It's like, come on,
seriously.
Like this, if anything, like these are like probably the worst. Like this is like by far like the worst church in the world. They have not been destroyed yet.
It was announced that they are officially been declared a hate group.
That's good, because they really are. They're beyond a hate group.
Well, when the KKK says that we're not associated with you and we want anything to do with you, you know that you're pretty bad.
When Fox News says, look, we hate Jews as much as the next guy, but these guys over here. When Fox News says these guys are too much for us, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of other metal bands, or sort of metal bands, I guess you could say, wasn't like that the lead singer for As I Lay Dying just like accused of like murdering his ex, or like hiring a hitman to murder his ex-wife.
The singer of Austrian Death Machine?
Is that
really?
That's the same guy, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was just trying to hire a hitman. He's like going to be like sentenced to like years and years and years in prison because he was just hired. He was attempted to hire a hitman.
There goes my third Austrian Death Machine album.
Yeah. Well,
this is news to me.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
That's what I thought you were talking about at first because I forgot about that. But yeah, that happened a while ago.
Oh man, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't listen to As I Lay Dying, but I like Austrian Death Machine.
I know. That's kind of how I feel too. It's like, As I Lay Dying, I don't know, the music just never compared to Austrian Death Machine.
Who knows? Maybe he's not. Maybe it's just he was framed or something. Maybe he'll come out being like innocent. Who knows?
I just know from the news it looked like he was pretty much like sewed up and done. Like
really,
he really fucked up.
Well, the news
he
always
hired
like
somebody
like that's because they're already getting him. Even like that guy's.
Isn't the guitar player from Austrian Death Machine? I thought it was the singer.
It's the lead singer. He does everything on like Austrian Death Machine. But
yeah, apparently I guess he hired he attempted to hire a hitman to kill his ex-wife, and hitman turned him in or something like that.
Fuck.
Yeah,
he's probably cheaping down the hitman.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Come on, man, you have 2 bands. Don't go fucking cheap on me here.
Yeah.
Well, that wife probably deserved to die anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
The fuck is she doing?
Yeah. Probably have a metal song about it if he ever gets out.
Yeah. Well, apparently Charlie Manson writes a lot of music.
Yeah.
In prison.
Didn't like Axl Rose take a song by his?
Yeah, he did. I remember that a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he draws a lot too. Remember like a lot of those crazy people, like even like John Wayne Gacy. Remember he was like before like he died. I guess like they were selling his like all those like clown pictures that he drew in prison for like thousands of dollars.
Who the fuck would want it? That's my question.
I have no clue.
There's a collector for everything.
There is. I mean, there's some like when that fucking what's his name? I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to give him the fucking credit, but that cocksucker that shot up the Dark Knight Rises theater. Somebody requested to have a custom-made mask after him, and they went on sold it on eBay for a lot of money. It was just like what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
The mask looked. I mean, the mask looked dumber than he did because whenever you see a picture of him, his eyes always wide. He always has this look like he's confused, like he just walked in on him jerking off or something.
Yeah.
Look at him. Whenever you look at a still picture of him, he always has this look like he walked in on him jerking off.
Yeah. I think it was ones like they make like Jack the Ripper kind of like mask, and I think if it's been like 50 to 100 years or something, by that point it's just like, oh, okay, now you can make fun of it. But
if anybody like Jack the Ripper, if anybody gets like offended by that, it's like too soon. What?
Yeah, I know. Those ones really, it's like like you were involved in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you were.
Yeah. Jack the Ripper was a Highlander or something like that. I am Jack the Ripper.
It's funny, like that's kind of like what like London's known for. It's like a couple things, you know, like Big Ben, Parliament, and Jack the Ripper,
And James Bond and Harry Potter.
James Bond,
The Rolling Stones and the Beatles.
Yeah.
Well, I was say London, but I mean England altogether, all that stuff, but just London.
Oh yeah, London.
England.
Yeah, just about Jack the Ripper.
I think more good things came from England than bad things for the most part.
That's true.
Yeah, I think
Beatles and Rolling Stones prove that.
Bad things. Let's see, food and Jack the Ripper.
Well, you know, I mean, look at the climate though. What are you gonna grow there?
Yeah.
That's the reason why the food's always kind of funky.
I don't know. Whenever I go to like, I've never been to England. But whenever I go to like an English pub, I always like the food they have there. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think I probably eat it regularly, but I mean,
Well, like fish and chips, I like that. That stuff's good. But like some of the other
bangers
stuff,
and mash or whatever.
yeah, some of the other stuff, it's like it's a little too plain and fattening, like meat pies and stuff.
Grant Morrison, he was it's not England, but it's around the same general area. He talked about the town he
Same
grew up in.
UK, yeah.
He says like they deep fry everything there. He says they deep fry a fucking Mars bar. He's just like, will this kill me sooner? Cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get crappy weather.
But anyway, but like so Spencer and I, we just recently Cisco, I know you didn't see this, but he's gonna
We got
hop in once.
Superman Unbound.
Which this was on a much higher note because we're talking about all this dark shit. But something always makes us always feel better.
Superman's
Yeah.
always positive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it kind of bothers me sometimes when they make like, I mean, I know the sometimes it's alternate worlds, but they always make Superman kind of bad. It's like I like to always think Superman like he's always good.
Yeah.
Like I mean, one thing it's like it's even in the Dark Knight Returns. One part I always you kind of watch when he's like destroying all the aircraft carriers and battleships. Like I'm like, no matter what, Superman would never do that.
Yeah.
Superman would only kill if it just was like the last resort option.
Only time I could actually think he killed somebody was Doomsday. That's the only time I could think he killed
Yeah,
somebody.
and it's like
from the comics I read.
And that's the other thing though. It's like sometimes I feel like, oh, I mean, it's probably because in the movie they kind of make him more like a real Superman, but he's still doing some of this like horrible shit.
In other forms of medium, they try to make him kind of like a pussy because there's that one song that came out like late '90s, early 2000s. I don't know who's singing it, but it's like, I'm not scared to fly. I ain't that naive. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
There's this song.
Well, that was a period where they made a lot of Superman songs, or they used words of Superman in it, like
It's
that
supposed to be
Kryptonite
Three
song.
Doors Down.
Will you still my Superman?
This isn't Three Doors Down. This is like some song. We're just talking like pretty much the main line of the song is, it's not easy to be me. Blah, 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 blah. You know, that's kind of the general.
Seems like the Blue Beetle theme song.
Because nobody likes the Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle still always has to get the crap where it's like, you're not an original DC character, you were bought up.
Same with Captain Marvel. You'll see me and my Blue Beetle in the next Drunk Batman episode. but no, this song they tried, because I believe, all right, yes, I think the big thing is Superman is, he came out at a time where it's like, holy shit, people can't lift cars. That's amazing. You know, it's at the point like, we got to find a way to humanize him. So humanizing him is kind of like, cause, you know, the whole Man of Steel trailer. What looks good about it is how humanizing and how emotional the film looks. Well, on top of looking badass. But the whole thing is like, I understand trying to make it emotional, but at the same time, you don't gotta make him a pussy. I mean,
Yeah, he's Superman.
sometimes they try to, because I'll admit, I like Smallville, but sometimes they make him too much of a pussy in that show. He's like, I can't ask Lana out. Why? Because she'll be in danger. She's getting danger every fucking week of the show, dude.
That was almost like the moral of the Superman Unbound, because it was like Lois Lane was just like, she's like, Clark, I'm always in danger. Like, loosen up. It should be like a Superman Unbound. Superman, loosen up.
This movie has probably one of the greatest scenes in any superhero movie in it, and there's the part when like because what ends up happening at some point is Brainiac captures Metropolis and has it in a little glass jar, more or less. And like a snow globe. I'm just kind of wondering if Drunk Batman gonna hold it like, yeah, he's all shaking like this. Oh, look at this. Ah! Robin catch. You know?
He drops it. Whoops.
How the fuck are we supposed to catch when I'm carrying this box? But come on, I mean, like, look at this shit, Superman. He doesn't need it all.
Yeah.
He's fucking hoarding up here.
Yeah.
You share like a million little screams.
That's what you do down underground. It's not hoarding, Robin. I just like to keep cool shit. When was the last time you used that giant penny? I never used it. I just think it looked cool.
Shit, what about the fucking T-Rex?
It's not my fault I put it in a giant cardboard box and stuck it downstairs.
I'm
It's not even on display anymore.
We see I was trying to do the thing where like Fred Flintstone slides down the dinosaur tail into the car, but I kept on like breaking my legs. I'm like, fuck it, this lost its purpose.
Dude, I didn't have a dinosaur to work with, so I used my stairs instead. Didn't work as well as a dinosaur back.
But anyway, there's a part where like, you know, Brainiac's giving his evil, like I'm you know, you're pathetic, Superman. I'm above this. I'm above all that. And he's walking over to like Metropolis in a jar. He's all saying everything in here is like meaningless, yada yada yada. Then he like looks in, he sees Lois Lane from like a building, and she is like puts up both hands and flips him off. It's a double bird.
Double bird.
One of the last things you'd expect to see, like an animated superhero. It just shows Brainiac just lifts his eyebrows, like, oh fuck, okay, whatever.
One thing I always think scares me about Brainiac though, is like, okay, he captures cities, but wouldn't it be more knowledgeable to capture the entire planet?
I don't know if he can store that much.
Yeah, he's too
You
much
probably
memory.
need too many. I don't know, like
Too many
spheres for
gigabytes.
that. Because what happens, he'll take the main city of a planet and then try and destroy it, and he was planning to destroy Earth, and like Supergirl's in this
I just
movie.
feel like you're not learning very much if you only just take one city and try to go from there.
Well, pretty much, Brainiac's really, I mean, he's really named kind of.
He's kind of like racist too. He just kind of picks which he thinks. Oh, Metropolis. Oh, that must be the most advanced.
Sure, that one, sure.
Well, he also seems just kind of like.
Just like Batman sitting in Gotham. Oh, fucking thanks.
Yeah. Fuck you on a megaphone. No, but
you got fucking Green Arrow over in Star City, like, fuck you!
They're all pissed off. No, but like there's a part where well, ultimately they'll get across that Brainiac's really just kind of like the biggest, I mean, even though he's like most feared beings in the universe or whatever, they get across like he's a real giant kind of like, he's like fucking nerd, because there's a part because he's like, yes, he's all powerful in his ship, but the second he lands on Earth and they start battling it out, he's like, ew, mud, oh, I'm sick, oh no, I could hear cars from a distance, what's going on? He starts like freaking out. It's overloading explosives. It's just Superman, just this big built, just jock, just kind of like, fucking nerd, what are you you weren't on the fucking football team and what, you know,
so if you took
just in your fucking little like, you know, in your little fucking spaceship collecting like snow globes this whole time.
So if you took like a really like nerdy guy that like lived in his basement for 30 years and for some reason just never left, you just took him to like the biggest social gathering event ever.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Woodstock, where it's just like the most dirtiest, filthiest place.
That's kind of what it's like. No, this flick was pretty good though. It had it's actually, the animation looked very different.
They really did change it up.
It looks, I mean, I never read the book it's based off of, but it actually looked kind of like, I'm thinking it may have been, I should have looked it up, but I'm thinking it may have been like one of the animators, or at least one of the least character designers who did the Boondocks. Because there's when they're going through the crowd, there's a girl when they're going through the crowd, when they show Kandor being attacked for the first time. Mm-hmm. By the things that sound kind of like predators.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of like, yeah, because like he sends on these little probes and they make this like predator noises generally. Mm-hmm. So, and they even kind of look like predators to a certain extent, kind of.
Robot things.
Yeah. But one of the girls, like there's a girl with kind of like an afro. She looked just like the daughter in Boondocks. That's like there's the black guy who's married to the white chick and their daughter. It looked just like her.
Oh wow!
So I'm thinking, maybe it's some of the same artist or something.
It might be. It definitely had a different look compared to all the other DC ones.
Yeah, which it looks great though. The animation was really fluid. The voice acting was really good. I thought Lois Lane, because sometimes Lois Lane's hit or miss. Either they do a great job with Lois Lane, or she just what?
Or they just do like an okay job.
Either great or okay. This chick did a really good job.
Yeah, that was a really good Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, just having Lois Lane, I was never. It's kind of weird because in Under the Red Hood, we got a part where like Red Hood sets a dude on fire. Joker beats Jason Todd to death with a crowbar. Mm-hmm. I was expecting that, but I was not expecting Lois Lane flipping the bird off at the camera.
The Brainiac.
Brainiac, yeah. They didn't even show that in the fucking comic, like in the Joker comic by Brian Azzarello or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's weird. That's a great comic.
Oh, when he flips the bird off, it like goes off like panel.
Yeah. It's like the whole book. You have Joker like killing people left and right. They have a part where they show a dude's head explode. Yeah. Joker skins a guy alive and then pushes him out onto like a strip floor. He's all staggering, like he slaps a dollar bill on his ass, like take it all off, you know. And it's really fucking dark, morbid book, but you can't show him flip someone off.
It's like, we're not crossing that line.
Yeah.
Every other line, yes, but not that one.
You know, skinning people alive, sure, but fingers, what the fuck are we thinking here, man? Come on, seriously.
What, we heathens? Did you watch any special features on it?
I didn't watch I watched the special features to Flashpoint.
But did you get the special edition one?
I got the DVD, so there's some special features on there. I haven't looked at it yet. I got
Did you
Django
get the 2-disc one?
There's a 2-disc, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I said that one probably has all the special features then.
Which I know. What I'm really excited for though, because for a while I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll still buy, and I still look forward to these DC Universe movies, but Dark Knight Returns came out. I don't know what else I'm looking forward to now, because I know they're not going to do Hush. I know, because that's too complex of a story, and other stories I know they're probably not going to do. But they're doing Flashpoint.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that was the one I kept saying every single time. I'm like, they do one, they gotta do Flashpoint.
Well, the thing is, I think, is they said they're selling it off as. We're actually going to explain it because I think if there's a comic you might like, Cisco, you might actually like Flashpoint because you don't even. It's kind of a darker version of these superheroes. It's kind of taken around. Huh. They're actually doing a smart thing. Instead of just saying Flashpoint, because this is Flash's story, but they're actually selling it as Justice League Flashpoint.
I know, I thought it was like, Joe, fucking Flash just can't have his own movie now. I know it kind of is a Justice League movie in a sense.
Well, all the characters are there. They're just not together. That's the thing. They're all killing each other. It's the whole plot line of this story, Cisco, we're just explaining to you now. The whole plot line of it is Flash, his mother was murdered at a young age. And he's Flash. He can go so fast, he can go back in time sometimes. And apparently he goes back and tries to stop this Professor Zoom, his main enemy, from killing his mother.
Okay. Huh.
That causes this whole time ripple effect, which, like, well, if that happens, it changes everything else. So it's this really dark, fucked up DC universe.
It's like, you gotta accept that your mom died and go forward.
Yeah, like Flash, he was never the Flash. He was just, he's a crime scene investigator, like what he is in the comic. Superman, we don't know where Superman is. He's a test subject in a little test tube somewhere. Batman was actually killed in Crime Alley that night, but the person who became Batman instead of Bruce Wayne was Thomas Wayne. His father.
I want to say, I hope they keep that Thomas Wayne in the movie because they never mentioned. I don't know if that's like one of those ones they're just holding it back, just doing like just in case you never did see Flashpoint. We don't want to spoil that part for you. I hope they don't make it like they like. Well, people might not understand that it's Thomas Wayne because they never mentioned it was Thomas Wayne that like 10-minute special feature.
They showed a little animatic of him like holding like Barry by the neck, saying like, "You gotta go back, otherwise Bruce won't be here."
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said you gotta go back and bring Bruce back. You gotta bring Bruce back.
I didn't hear that part.
So, yeah.
And at first I didn't hear that. I was like, I hope they don't change that part because that's like one of the coolest things.
Then Aquaman and Wonder Woman, they're both like, he's king of Atlantis, she's queen of the Amazon, and they're going to war, and their war is just destroying the whole world around them. So it's this really dark, fucked up book. And like Cyborg is also like
he's pretty much the only leader guy there. Like
he's the only one that has his shit together. Yeah.
He's like, nothing changed for me. What the fuck does that say?
Do whatever you want. I don't care.
So yeah, well. So that was just kind of, it's just, yeah, it's a really good book, and I'm glad they're making that movie because I was like, I don't know if they ever make that one. So
well, that was one I was like, that's one they should make if they want to do something different. But I think people could still jump into it. It's not just like a straight up Flash only story.
If you have an idea of who these characters are, you don't even have to read the comics. If you have an idea of who these characters are, you'll be able to follow it fairly well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think anybody can know a little bit of knowledge. I don't think this is one you could just like slap this on like. You've seen an episode of Super Friends once, right? Oh, yeah, when I was 5. Well, here, watch this. I think it might be a little too extreme for that. I think you'd still have to kind of know a semi-backstory to each of these characters.
Well, I think like maybe like the whole thing with Hal Jordan, but there's a Green Lantern movie now, so most people have probably seen that by this point. But it's more of one of those things. I think people would be. I don't think it's too much because people know who Batman is by this point, and they kind of cover the backstories you need to cover for the most part. So, I mean, there are certain characters there, like people aren't going to know who Shazam is right off the bat. People aren't going to know who Captain Cold are. Or
even though like Captain Marvel, I almost said Mr. Marvel. Captain Marvel goes back really far because it's funny. It's like you always like back in the day, if they made like a reference like in a movie or like something even like a Beatles song, Captain Marvel's always mentioned.
Yeah.
Strange enough, you strange enough don't hear Superman or Batman ever mentioned back in the day, but you always hear Captain Marvel. I've heard it multiple times in like
maybe he was
songs and old movies.
Maybe he was big in England because the Beatles have that one song like
Captain Marvel zaps him right between the eyes.
Yeah.
Well, that and then like there's like you hear like some older movies like it's like when I was a boy I just kind of dreamed of being Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics actually has a Captain Marvel. Nobody just gives a shit about him.
Yeah, I know. They got Miss Marvel too, and
yeah.
Rogue just stole her powers, and now she's kind of like been in a coma this whole time.
Isn't Miss Marvel back in the game by this point? I haven't really.
I don't know.
No.
I never see. That's all I know is that Rogue like sucked all her powers out and then she was in a coma, and that's where she's been this whole time. Kind of feels like there goes that story. I know that like she has her own comic and stuff, but I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I think she's back in the game by this point. But
they probably have changed it.
Was she in the X-Men cartoon?
Yeah, in one episode,
Miss Marvel
it explains that story.
Oh, okay.
Was Rogan like the most recent X-Men movie?
No.
Well, I mean,
The last one
You
was
mean
a
the one as
flashback.
in like the one that was in the
well, there was the Wolverine one,
and then there was the X-Men First Class, which took place back in time when like,
It was like
Xavier and Magneto were like young.
It was like
Oh,
early
yeah, yeah.
'60s is what the last one took place in.
right? Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
No, I didn't see the one.
I know you're not big on superhero stuff, Cisco, which is probably makes this podcast kind of awkward for you.
Right.
But I think you would like that film because it's actually
that one's
I saw
pretty
I saw
cool.
The commercial for it looked pretty good.
yeah. Plus, you get Michael Fassbender playing Magneto, which was
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, he does
You get Kevin Bacon in it playing
the Bacon. You
he
love the
play?
Bacon. He plays the main bad guy.
Yeah, which I'm drawing a blank on the guy's
Sebastian
name.
Shaw.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw. There we go.
Which I don't know anything about Sebastian Shaw. Does he have a whole?
It's the main leader of the Hellfire Club. It's that whole thing. Pretty much if you like the Dark Phoenix saga and all that kind of stuff, or just the Phoenix saga in general, it all involves around those characters.
Oh, okay. Is he? I'm just
And
curious.
Emma Frost and all those.
Did he generally kind of walk around just in a suit like he does in the movie, or is he a guy that's super out here?
In the bag, in the comics, they're all wearing like 1700s clothes because they're kind of like those they're kind of like the Court of Owls in a sense. I remember when I first saw the Court of Owls, I'm like, oh, that's what it's like the Hellfire Club. It's just these people that kind of like
or Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, that's like they've been our Eyes Wide Shut. I remember I was like, holy fuck, this is just like Eyes Wide Shut. Shiver, nobody's getting laid.
Hey, Rob, I'm going to go up to the Court of Owls now. Is it because they're an evil organization that tries to run Gotham? No, I was
Actually, I got
eavesdropping.
invited to like this kind of like sex orgy thing. Oh yeah, I've been a few of those.
If I swipe this card at the health clinic, I get 10% off.
Yeah, they give you a Super Saver card there. Really, I don't think anybody there needs one though. They're all fucking loaded.
He scratches his balls. Oh shit again! Walks out the door.
Speaking of the DCU movies, I finally got to see the Green Emerald Knights one.
What'd you think of that one?
Did I say Green Arrow?
Green Emerald Knights.
Green Emerald Knights.
I mean Green Lantern. A Green Emerald Knights.
The Emerald Knights.
Yeah.
Emeralds are green, right? Okay.
That one was actually pretty
Lester
cool.
Sonic.
The way I liked the way they did that one because at first when
Green
you explained
Lantern
it, I thought you said it's this other Green Lantern. There's one called First Flight, which is really cool.
a really good movie.
Yeah, it's one of the really
What
good
was the one
ones.
with Ryan Reynolds?
That's just the Green Lantern, the live action movie.
Okay, yeah.
Now this one, it's like pretty much what it does. It gives a bunch of backstories to all the other like Green Lantern characters. And at first I thought it was gonna be one of those ones kind of like the Batman
Gotham
one,
Knight?
the Gotham Knight one, or something kind of in the heavy metal sense, or even like the Halo Legends, where they kind of do like 5 stories, all done by different animation teams and stuff. And this one was done by different writers, each of the stories, but I liked how it was like the same animation and it flowed really like fluidly. So it didn't seem like you were watching like, 1 cut, 2 cut, 3. It was all just one full-on story, and it pretty much Hal Jordan
At
was
the
just
very
explaining
end.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just kind of explaining this to his new chick.
Which I thought that one was decent. It didn't blow me away because I'm not the hugest Green Lantern fan. I think Green Lantern First Flight is just an all-around great
The Green
movie.
Lantern First Flight, that's one of those ones just is almost one of the Batman or Superman ones.
You should they should have just like a lot of times you watch these DC Universe movies and like, all right, take Green Lantern First Flight, make that in live action.
Just
that should have
literally
been
word for word, scene for scene, shot for shot.
just toss that. Maybe throw in an extra 10 minutes or something, but you can just toss that in and just call it and make it live action. Make that movie. Same thing with Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the second we get to Dark Knight Returns, you deal with copyright shit with Superman and Batman, but beyond that, you go in Green Arrow. But overall, you get the point. Like Under the Red Hood, like that's another example. That's one of the best Batman movies ever made.
Yeah, just once again, if you just did something like that, it'd just be perfect.
And the thing about Under the Red Hood is the comic, which it's based off of, it's not even all that amazing. The comic, it's decent. It's a good comic. But the movie, it just because it condenses it down to everything you want. I mean, my only complaint is Mr. Freeze wasn't
I
in
do
it.
like the Mr. Freeze parts.
My own complaint is Mr. Freeze isn't in it, and they made Black Mask a little bit of a bitch. But beyond that, though, it's a great movie.
Well, I
It's
just feel
paced
like,
well.
because some of those comic books, some of these comic books, they're a little bit more edited down than, like, say, a novel. Because I feel like a novel, like, nobody tells Stephen King what to do. He just fucking writes it, turns it in. It's like nothing's edited. It's just like one guy doing it.
I kind of like there's that one. I'm gonna go back to the DC in a second, but Family Guy had this earlier. Family Guy had this one really funny skit. Like, Like a Stephen King novel. He's like, okay, my next book, it's about a couple in a cabin. They're attacked by a monster. He sees like there's a lamp on the desk. A lamp monster! Woo! And the guy's all like, you're not even trying anymore, are you, Stephen? He's like, woo! Like shaking. He's like, pulls out a checkbook. How much?
But that's one thing that's like, it's at least in like, movies and stuff like that. That's the one thing I always say about movies is there's always by having a handful of people there, they can kind of go like, you know what, these scenes aren't necessary.
Yeah.
Unless you're Quentin Tarantino.
Well, yeah, but even his scene, it's not like,
Death Proof.
Okay, say if Quentin Tarantino was a one-man, like, brainiac machine, let's just have the Superman tie in here.
Bring it back.
They could fucking make an entire movie by himself. Who knows how long those
But I
movies
feel like
will be.
nobody tells him what to do. Like there are so many things where like, you could do this, Quentin. Yeah, you could try. No,
he's gonna do a line of coke and start punching the person.
But
who
here's the
tells
thing
him
that's
that.
the difference, though. So let's take The Shining, for example. That's a perfect example. The book's like 700 and something pages long.
Yeah.
And then you got Stanley Kubrick's Shining movie, and it's about a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a perfect
And
movie.
really what Stanley does, he takes that 700 pages, says, what do we don't need?
Yeah.
Let's just focus on what we do need.
Mm-hmm. Though I do like things in the book, though. I will say, like, I really like them.
Well, there's some cool stuff in the books, but I know a lot of stuff in the book is just like, and this I always feel about most books, especially books that are over 400 pages, is a lot of stuff just, it's almost just filler. And I guess that maybe just comes from doing a lot of movies and just watching a lot of movies that you kind of see this stuff, you're like, oh, this is pretty much just the lead scene. I mean, I know that's kind of like why people like books, because they like that, like, massive amount of extra detail that's not really even necessary, but they just like that kind of stuff.
Well, there's stuff like in Jurassic Park, the book.
But that book's not that long, though. It's only like 400 something pages. I always feel like that book's like the perfect length. It's once you start getting like over 500 plus pages. I don't know. I've never read a book that was that long that I thought like all this needs to be in here.
Yeah.
Well, like back on The Shining, for instance. Well, another good example of that is, and I never read the book, but I looked at a little. You guys read it. You told me about it, and I looked at a little comparison things of things that were in the movie that weren't in the book and all that, or the book, but they were in the book, not the movie. The whole thing with that was, I mean, I'm sure the book's decent, but there are certain things that almost seem kind of like. Plus, I saw like the Stephen King movie, the made-for-TV one, which that sort of seemed kind of like. I'm assuming this is all in the book since he wrote it, like kind of cheap and like. There's a garden hose with teeth, like that kind of shit.
Yeah, they
I
that kind
like the idea of the statues moving. And like the hedge maze, just like animals moving.
Yeah,
that's
until
kind of cool.
I wasn't a big fan of the hedge maze.
Animals
I thought that kind of took me out of it.
I thought it was kind of interesting though, in a way, just because it's like a different thing. And then like the dog man was scarier in the book.
The
dog
man
is definitely scary in the book.
Like that was pretty cool.
The concept of dog man is scary. Just kind of like a guy in a dog suit chasing a kid down, saying, "I'm gonna eat your cock, Danny," or whatever it was. Yeah. That's scary right there.
Yeah, that was creepy.
But for the most part, it just seemed kind of like the Stanley Kubrick movie. It seems that the fact how what he decided not to show almost kind of made it more. I guess what's the word I'm looking for here?
It's more realistic.
More realistic, I guess. I know it's a haunted house story, but it stands out. It feels different. It feels different since it's more psychological. Where the other one, it's like the house is haunted.
Yeah, it's more like like supernatural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the main reason that Stephen King, like the reason he doesn't like the Stanley Kubrick one too much is the one thing he thought is like. Jack Nicholson should not be in it, and the only reason he said that is because it's Jack Nicholson. He's gonna go crazy.
He's already crazy.
He's already,
oh wow, Jack Nicholson.
Because the whole point
he was just in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So
well, really, because Stephen King, all his books pretty much he mostly always writes a guy who's just an average dude stuck in like ridiculous. He's pretty much a Coen Brothers thing.
Yeah.
Without the comedy necessarily.
Yeah.
An average dude stuck in like an extreme situation.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicholson's not an average dude. He's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Even though I really like Jack Nicholson, it's like I guess
it's always writers.
I think since I grew up with that movie, it's like, oh, it's because Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's one of those.
You
things
just accept it. You don't. I didn't really think about that until Stephen King mentioned it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
But he's perfect in it.
Well, the whole thing, it's also like The Shining. I guess was a very personal book to him because it was a letter to his father. It was kind of closure for him because he was an alcoholic. He had issues with his father, and that's the movie's kind of about. And when Stanley Kubrick cuts that out, he says, "What the fuck? You missed the most important part of the book." And then Jack Nicholson in the book, the character had that redeeming factor where he stays behind and tries to hold the house up from exploding or whatever. I do wish that Scatman Crothers survived. That's the one thing.
Yeah, I like that in the book that he survived.
I gotta say that's probably like the what like there's a couple parts in that movie like it's a scary movie, but since I've seen it a lot, it's like numb to me. But there are two parts in that movie that still like maybe cringe a little bit when I see it.
Naked Lady.
Well, yes, that part is one of three. I forgot about three. That part, that Scatman Crothers gets hit in the heart with an axe.
Yeah.
That part's just like, oh god, just like think about that, just being an axe. That's gonna be like one of the most painful deaths ever.
Well, plus it's not really, it's kind of a jump scare, but it's more like you see it from a distance. And for
It's
whatever reason, when you don't see it that close up, when you see it from a distance, it's like the part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, he hits the guy and pulls him into the other room.
and then slams the door. It's one of the best scenes in any horror movies.
And then like the last part though is like just like when they show like his frozen body in the morning.
Yeah.
Even though I gotta say like the Simpsons part like just made me laugh so hard because it kind of ruined that part for me because like when like, they're all frozen around the TV and the TV's they're watching like Pharaoh was like, now we have a chorus line. They're like, oh god, you can't change it.
Were they all frozen? I thought it was just Homer.
No, they all. I think they were all frozen out.
Didn't Marge and the kids get away, but it was just Homer?
No, I think like Homer catches them in the episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is probably the funniest Treehouse of Horror by far.
And then
the best ones.
Moe's the guy behind the bar. He's
Yeah.
I'll sell my soul for a drink. All right, what do you have? You know.
I just love the part where it's like no mind if I do. Just like
Go crazy.
The face that he has is like hilarious. Like I don't know like who drew that. Whoever animator like drew that particular Homer in that episode was like brilliant. Just so funny.
Mr. Burns has the whole part where he just opens the blood just pours out. He's like, oh, that never happens. Or I haven't seen the episode in so long. What was the line Mr. Burns had? Like, we should have the blood bank upstairs or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then they keep forgetting Grandpa. They're like they keep forgetting stuff. Oh, we forgot to lock the door. Oh, we forgot the cat. And then the third time, we forgot Grandpa. And they just don't stop. They just keep driving. Whatever.
I haven't seen like that Simpsons episode in so long.
I always there's this one scene that's in another Simpsons episode. God knows which one it is. Where like Homer like he's going to the store and Grandpa's still in the car and stuff. And he's like, "You're just gonna leave me in here?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." And he opens up, rolls down the window a crack, closes the door.
That's the Simpsons movie.
Oh, is that the movie that does that?
Yeah, because he's all wrapped up like in the rug and he can't move. And Marge said the line like, "Why is it when we go to church every Sunday, if every time one of us has a religious experience, we ignore it? You know what I mean, Grandpa?" She turns like, "I want blueberries on my waffles."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But The Shining. I'm kind of with you. I am at the point where I still love that movie. It's still probably one of my top 10 favorite movies, but it is the point where I'm kind of like numb to it. I'm not really scared to it.
Well, the only thing about a horror movie is it only really works once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only downfall to a horror movie. That scariness of it really only works about once.
Yeah.
But that's one of those movies.
Maybe twice
like,
if it's been a long time since you've seen it.
I don't know why. It's the kind of movie that I love to watch when I'm in a really Christmassy mood. I'm like, it's snowing out. Like, it's Christmas Eve. Let's all sit around and watch The Shining.
How we decorate the Christmas tree.
It's probably my favorite Christmas movie, I gotta say. It's like a great movie to watch at Christmas time. Technically, it is a Christmas movie because they spend Christmas there.
They do spend Christmas.
As long as Christmas is involved, it's a Christmas movie.
Gremlins, yeah. Die Hard's one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know why action movies always seem to take place on Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it's just that weird. Oh, we're supposed to be happy, yet we're killing each other.
Well, I think the main reason is because a lot of times, like, you know, Christmas, and back in the day, Christmas used to be the #1 selling point towards a movie, so you put your biggest movies out during Christmas.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be Christmas, might as well have the movie. I think that's the main reason how that kind of happened.
Yeah, because everyone like Mom and Pop are here from Illinois, and the brothers are here from Arkansas. Let's all go to the movies.
Let's all see Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie I just
Batman
saw?
Returns.
That I've always wanted to see, and I finally got to see it. Have you ever
What's
seen
that?
Every Which Way But Loose
No.
with Clint Eastwood?
No.
It's Clint Eastwood and the orangutan.
Oh, that's this because this is the Clint Eastwood orangutan movie I heard so much about.
Yeah, there's like Clint. It's like I've known him forever, and I always want to sit down and see it. It's Clint Eastwood and an orangutan.
That's
Pretty much what Clint Eastwood in this movie is. He's just a guy who just does like street brawling. He's pretty much like the Street Fighter. He's like Ryu.
Okay.
I want Clint Eastwood to be an unlockable character in Street Fighter V now.
And pretty much he just makes his money by like fighting. And he won this like orangutan at one point. He's like, the guy's like, you took on 4 guys. He's like, yeah, I just couldn't see a monkey in a cage. or I just couldn't see that orangutan in the cage.
That sounds like a Clint Eastwood line.
He's just there to save people.
We didn't tell this to Cisco, but like he was mayor of Carmel. Was
Yeah.
it Carmel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was mayor of Carmel for a while. Mm-hmm. It seems like that seems like a very Clint Eastwood reason. Like, I just fight because I don't like seeing a monkey in a cage. Well, why were you mayor of Carmel? I just thought it was stupid you couldn't sell ice cream. You know?
Yeah, they couldn't sell ice cream on the street, so that's why he became mayor.
What?
Yeah, it was apparently illegal to like serve and eat ice cream on the street. Apparently, that's I heard that's actually very common in a lot of like prestigious cities.
Well, I guess maybe because like they don't want the streets to get sticky. I don't know.
The streets are all sticky.
Oh! Like, I don't know. I guess
We lost old
maybe
Dan
selling,
that
like
way.
beer on the street. You don't want to do that, but like,
It's really like ice cream. Like it melts, it goes away, it evaporates over time.
Streets are sticky. We lost old Dan and Agnes that way.
Some old lady just like froze. Like it's like the middle
The
of
Shining.
winter. It's like frozen. Ice cream froze in the middle of the street and I couldn't get out.
We could have just, like, got some hot water and poured it on her. We're like, oh, she's on her own. Let natural selection take way.
Gotta say, like, completely off topic, but one of the funniest like things in South Park is that episode where that like guy finally gets out of prison that like they like blamed for catching their teacher on fire.
Oh yeah.
And then that teacher's like melted like in that like big black box. And remember that episode?
Yeah.
And, like the teacher's like going across the street and then like her battery runs out and she's like stuck in the middle of the street and she can't like beep to like let people know she's in trouble. They're like, how's it going, lady, or whatever. How are you, Mrs. Whatever name? She's like keep going, just like this lady's like dying basically in the middle of the street, like a burn victim just sitting there for like days on end.
Well, not everywhere which way but loose. Pretty
yeah.
much. What Clint Eastwood is, he's pretty much just like a male groupie because he finds this one like chick, which is Sandra Locke, the one that's in like Outlaw Josie Wales and a bunch of those Clint Eastwood movies for a long time. And she's like a country singer, and he just wants to like keep following her. He's like, hey, come on, but he's trying to get rid of him.
I want to fuck you on camera again. Come on.
So he's pretty much just chasing her down this whole time or whatever. Just gets into street fights along the way, and then there's a
It would be scary and like awkward if it wasn't Clint Eastwood.
Well, there's one part so funny. He's like, I can't remember what the monkey's name or the orangutan's name is or whatever. He has kind of a strange name, but he's like, kind of like, Jimmy here needs to get laid. You know what? It's been a while. So it's like this. So they stop by like a zoo at nighttime, and he fucking hops over the fence and takes the orangutan into like the orangutan cage. He's like, "You go, buddy. You go." And he walks in, opens the door. He's like, there's a female in there. He's like, giving thumbs up, looking at.
You gotta check this movie out. Is it a partial comedy?
Oh yeah,
It's all comedy, obviously, but
supposed to
partial
be
action.
It's kind of like action, comedy, drama. It's like all three of that. And it's kind of like the redneck Clint Eastwood character where he's like, I'm a good old boy. Which is kind of funny because like, it's like the place he is, it's like takes place, he kind of lives in like this kind of trailer park and all stuff. But it's all it's like California though. It's kind of fun to see. They actually focus on California rednecks in Southern California.
We don't see that very often. It's always somewhere in the Midwest. It's never
Yeah.
California because we got plenty of rednecks here.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It actually focuses on that part.
That's funny because like I'm used to whenever I think Clint Eastwood and Animal. I was imagining one of those things like, what am I gonna do with this goddamn monkey? You know, but it's actually cool that he's actually being friends with it because I was gonna be like the outlaw, like I thought he was gonna be like spitting tobacco on it, like the dog, and Outlaw and Josie Wales. You know,
No, it's like his best friend. Just like, you know what, times can be rough, but I always got my orangutan.
he's living the dream. He lives the dream, man. He gets to be in movies like with all these gorgeous actresses. Gets to be in westerns. He has a monkey for a best friend.
Yeah, how can you not like that?
Oh my god, that is too badass.
The other movies have been going on like since my computer's been down for the last while. I have nothing better to do but just watch a bunch of movies. So I've been going on my Fast and the Furious marathon just before the 6th one comes out.
When's that come out?
Comes out in like 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Or so, maybe 3. But right after Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek's next week, isn't it? Oh, sweet.
So that, then Fast and the Furious. So I've been watching all of them over again. Which, those are, those kind of movies, like, I really do enjoy those movies. It's kind of funny, though, because when you think about it, they're really movies not really made for white people. They put Paul Walker in there as like, here you go, white people, here's your relatable character. Because really, you think about it, you look at it, it's like, everybody else in it, it's made for like kind of almost like Mexicans, blacks, and Japanese, or, well, Asians in general, let's just say that.
Yeah.
But because, there's just, and Paul Walker's just that one white, and he's really like
The
very
cop.
white. He's very white, too. Yeah, he's a cop. Like, he pretty much kind of like, he kind of has like, he acts like kind of like Keanu Reeves anyways, even though the first one's pretty much just a Point Break, it's the same story, just with Fast and Furious.
Yeah, instead of surfing.
Yeah. It just always makes me laugh because it's like, I remember trying to show those movies to like, you're like, oh, you're like, my dad will like this. It's got cars and all this stuff, but you kind of forget all the like the rap,
The generation
yeah,
gap.
the huge generation gap.
Yeah.
And even myself, it's
I
like,
wouldn't say like probably like other races as much as L.A.
Yeah. And I feel like that's
Well, no,
because
the whole
second
street-
one takes place in like Florida, the third one
Yeah.
takes place in Japan.
Well,
And the whole point of those movies is there's always like only like one white character in the entire movie, just including a couple
the
like
time he's the main
cops
character,
and other
though.
stuff. Yeah.
Half the time he's the main
Yeah,
character.
pretty much until Vin Diesel kind of comes around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, people
There he
really like
is,
Vin
Vin-
Diesel more.
all those movies are targeted for like 3 cities: Miami, LA, and New York. Like that's where like make all their money. I feel like when they go to theaters,
Probably.
for the most part.
I mean, I look forward to those movies.
Well,
Just 'cause I
it's that, and then anybody who's a car enthusiast, because
Yeah.
they don't really make very many car movies anymore.
I'm not a huge car enthusiast, but I do like chase films and race films. So whenever these movies come out, I usually look forward to them. Plus, I like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, well, Vin Diesel's like a selling point.
And they said that Vin Diesel originally he's actually going to be in the next Expendables, I heard. But
badass.
originally they said like a lot of like producers like we don't know how to market him because he's like part like Samoan, he's part black, he's part
not
Mexican.
Yeah, he's like I think he's like a third black, a third like Italian, and a third Mexican. Or,
Yeah.
Cuban or whatever it'd be on the East Coast.
And a lot of fucking producers didn't know what to do with them, and then he went and made his own movie.
Well, it's funny because he would show up. They'd be like, "We need an Italian gangster for this," and he'd show up and they'd be like, who the? So we said Italian. He's like, "I am Italian."
Yeah.
And then he'd go to show up. There'd be like a one for like a black character. He'd show up. He's like, "We said black guy." He's like, "I am black." They'd show up for like something like a Mexican party. He's like, "I am Mexican." He's like.
I like the same problem people think with The Rock. Like, is he black? Is he Hawaiian?
No, he's just The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock's, I think he's got like that good mix. It's like half Hawaiian, half black. I mean,
Yeah.
that came out like perfect.
Yeah.
Just like the ultimate warrior body.
The Rock is, I think he's probably one of my favorite action stars of modern day.
He
Because
really
he's in he does a good job in all the movies he's in. Even if he's in a shitty movie, he's at least good.
Yeah, he's always good, you know.
And I believe he can kick just about anybody's ass. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has he been? Yeah, he has.
He's just been like
Has
he's been
he
like.
in a movie with Arnold?
No, but
Not
he's
yet.
one.
Yes, take that back.
Which one?
Because Arnold gave like The Rock the go ahead to be the next I almost said rock star, the next action star in the Rundown.
Really?
Yeah, because you know in the very
Okay.
beginning, Arnold has a
Oh,
cameo.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
The part of the very beginning when like The Rock like rock bottoms that guy through like a table or something.
Yeah.
And then Arnold walks past him and gives him like the thumbs up and says something.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that before or after he was in office? It was like right before.
He was
probably.
right before.
Yeah.
He might have just been in office. I'm not too
When
sure.
did Jesse Ventura gonna get in movies again?
I know Jesse
He's
Ventura.
probably retired.
Well, the main thing that Jesse Ventura did is he like, you know, he started out doing kind of like wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went into being like the
Was
announcer.
he in Navy SEALs first?
Well, he was in the Navy SEALs first.
Okay.
Navy SEALs, wrestling. Then he was the announcer for WWF, and then he became kind of in movies, and then he became like he was like a radio host for a while, and
And
then
he's a politician.
politician, and then I think he went back to being a radio host once again. And from there, I think that's where he's kind of.
He's on Piers Morgan all the time. I know that. That's like the only time I ever see him.
So I think he still runs the radio station. I think that's what he's still doing.
Yeah.
He's Jesse Ventura.
He does a lot of things. I mean, he used to own his own gym for a long time.
Is it called I Don't Got Time to Bleed?
I don't know. He just got angry when he found a bunch of like
I don't got
needles
time
and like
to-
the trash. He closed the gym down.
Really?
He's like, I don't want this
Workout
shit
gym.
in here.
I'm Jesse. He has some very strange voices.
Jesse
I'm
Ventura.
Jesse Ventura.
This'll make you a sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me. I was so bummed he was the first to die in Predator.
Is he the first to die?
I believe he's the first to die. Well, maybe,
I thought like the second.
of their
Well,
friends.
just including all the people that die right
I
after.
said the cartel. The
The
cartel.
black, I think both the black guys died before.
No, there's
Carl
the
Weathers
dude.
lasts a while.
Because there's the dude that's always shaving him. There's because there's a guy that he played Apollo and Rocky.
Carl Weathers.
Yeah, his arm gets blown off, and he's like right before Billy, I think.
Yeah, Billy's like the last of the like.
No, the nerd guy dies first, doesn't he?
Steve,
guy
Steve
gets-
Black.
Not
Yeah.
Shane
Or
Black.
Shane Black. I mean, I don't know why I said
He
Steve
dies
Black.
first. doesn't
I
he?
think
He gets
Shane
dragged-
Black
he
hangs
gets dragged-
around for a while because he
He's
lives.
he's one of the last ones to die. Strangely enough.
He's one because he lives long enough to say, Billy, you're not afraid of any man. That's no man. Fuck, I want to watch that movie now.
I love that movie.
Love that line. You're one ugly motherfucker. So what he says is he's like, motherfucker.
Did you ever see Predators, Cisco?
No, I never saw that one.
Oh, dude, you gotta check that one out. It's not as good as Predator, but it is the best Predator movie.
The one with Danny Glover?
No,
No,
Predator,
that's Predator
2.
2.
Okay.
Predators. It's gonna sound weird because you think how's Clive Owen gonna match up to Arnold, which he doesn't, but he does good for what he is.
Yeah.
And the thing, what's cool about it is they take a bunch of people that kind of could be, with the exception of Topher Grace. They took the exception. They took everybody.
But you
who was-
realize why he's there in the long run.
yeah, you do in the long run. But the kind of people who could be the star of their own Predator movie, but just all in one.
I don't know why, but when I watched Predator, I rewatched it about 3 months ago, and I kept getting the feeling that I was watching Apocalypse Now. It
Really?
feels a lot like that movie. Yeah, I don't know why, but it does. They have that same creepy, like, half action, half horror movie feel to them.
Well, yeah, because that's what the movie kind of is. Kind of like half action, half horror, filled with sci-fi.
Apocalypse Now is a little bit more like
well,
psychological horror. Yeah,
Apocalypse Now is.
Has a little bit of psychological weirdness to it, kind of like.
It's a really scary
I always said
movie.
the movie is almost like reaching into the horror category.
When you get to the end.
I don't know what.
No,
it
even
makes
just
me,
from, from the beginning
think
because it has like
a
the
lot.
build-up for like a horror movie.
I don't know
Just
why.
just now when you watch, next time you watch Predator, put it on mute and play "This Is the End" when Arnold's like making all the traps and all that. See how much it syncs up. It'll be kind of like when you listen to like Pink Floyd and watch Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But no,
I love Predator.
no. But I don't know if Predators did any good. So who knows? Maybe I hope they come out with another one because
No, Predator. I think Predator's
Eventually.
it's one of those things like it's like aliens. They'll always keep coming out with stuff.
I don't understand how it's so hard. Why they always keep on fucking up with these Alien versus Predator movies though.
Yeah, I know, because the first one's like the main reason it kind of sucked it was PG-13, and the second one is like this one. Well, no, it's R, but we got kind of a shittier script.
Mm-hmm. I can't talk shit on the second one, but I didn't really because I didn't see that one, but I didn't hear anything really good about it.
Yeah.
So the first one though was
They were just like okay. I didn't think they were like god awful movies. I just didn't think it was like well
the first one just seemed kind of like oh remember this from that movie but that's all it really seemed like because the characters I don't really give a shit for any of those characters other than the Predators and the aliens.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the main reason you're watching those movies though.
You are. I mean, you do kind of need that because all those movies have the human element in the middle, so I understand why they're there. But those characters, because I usually care about the people in the Predator or the Alien movies, but except Predator 2, I like Danny Glover, but anybody else I don't really give a shit about.
Else, who cares?
Predator 2 to me, with the last 20 minutes of that movie was just Danny Glover and that Predator going at it. That is fucking badass. And whenever the Predator kills somebody, that's kind of cool too. But generally, everything else in that movie is just way too over the top and way too kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's still a good movie. Just it's not nearly as good as Predators.
Just like, is there another like alien movie that's coming out? Or
Well, Prometheus came out.
Was that just plain Alien though, or was that Alien Predator?
No, that wasn't Alien Predator. That was just plain Alien.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Prometheus 2 is in the works. Is Ridley Scott involved?
I don't know. I haven't looked that one up yet.
Because I looked on IMDb, it said Prometheus 2 is happening. So, which I'm curious.
I like to say it is, but like when I think about it, I'm like, has Ridley Scott ever really done sequels? I mean, this is like kind of like Prometheus in the sense of
Gladiator 2.
Well, yeah, but like think about all those movies though. Like, are any of that? Well, he did Hannibal. He didn't do the first one, but
Who did Red Dragon?
What's
his name?
Brett Ratner.
Brett Ratner did that one. Yeah.
Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
and Michael Mann did the Manhunter one. The guy who
He
did
did
Last of the Mohicans. And
he did
he produced
Collateral.
Yeah, he did Collateral. He did the Miami Vice the movie. He produced the TV show.
And Public Enemies too.
Yeah, he did that.
Not the Superman Batman one to bring it all back around, but
Yeah.
that's a good Public Enemies.
But
too.
no, I was thinking about. I don't think Ridley Scott's ever done like 2 movies in a row or anything like close to that.
I don't think
he's
he
ever done
did.
anything. It's a sequel.
I don't know.
Prometheus is the only thing you could say he's done. It's in like the same kind of vein.
Yeah, and a lot of people still hated it because it was just something.
I think it's just a little too sci-fi for like a general audience.
Well, a lot of people just kind of because there is some logic gaps. The one complaint that kind of annoys me is like, why the fuck are they taking off their helmets? It's like like all right, yeah, realistically they wouldn't take off their helmets even if the thing said they could breathe. But that's not what killed everybody. It's not like one person took off their helmet and he started dying. That's not what killed everybody. It was the fucking.
Did somebody actually believe that?
What?
Did somebody actually believe that by taking off the helmets, that's why they all died?
No, but they were complaining. It's just like scientists wouldn't do that. It's just like it's a fucking movie.
No, that's like the same people that complain in like Backdraft, like they're not, in a real fire, they would be like wearing their mask the whole time. It's a fucking movie. You have to see the characters. That's why in Gears of War they don't wear helmets.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's like sometimes it's like whenever you meet people who aren't like really in the movies, sometimes you have to explain to them why things happen in movies.
The thing I can complain about in Prometheus, there is things you can complain about, like the part where the nerd guys. Have you ever seen Prometheus, Cisco?
No, I didn't see
It's
it.
really good.
If you like Alien, you'll probably like Prometheus. Also. Actually, I can't say everybody, but a lot of people. But I liked it anyway. There's the part where the nerdy guy's going up to like the squid, the snake face hugger thing. Just get over here, baby. Come on, look at you. He's all trying to reach for it. That part is fucking stupid. That's dumb right there. And because the fact that this thing does not look friendly.
I mean, it'd be different if it was like kind of like a cute looking snake thing that just all of a sudden turned monstrous. Even though you see that in a lot of other movies, but
or if he just had like a cage, he was trying to get it in rather than just grab it with just his hand.
he probably just wanted to fuck it. That's just really what he is.
Face hug my cock. Oh. Doesn't make any sense, but you get the fucking joke. But no, Then there's the other part where they get lost, yet they have a little GPS thing. They know where they are. They have nothing to relay the information.
Well, that's why too, because the guy who
just
has
funny.
the fucking GPS thing is the guy who gets lost.
Yeah.
I'll just send them out. I don't fucking read the map. That's not my job. I'm a geologist.
It's that part. He's just the badass guy. He's all sitting there like when they first show this guy. He's this guy with like he's like a Scottish guy. He has red dreadlocks and he's all.
I thought he had a mohawk.
I think they're like dreadlocks in a bun. They're all back, and he had tattoos down the side of his face. He had his arms crossed, his feet on the back of a chair. You're just assuming like, okay, this guy's the guy who's gonna go crazy and
And
start.
then the first
killing
nerdy guy meets, he's like, "Don't fucking talk to me. I'm here for the money."
Yeah, and then he gets there. He's like, "What are you?" He's just, "I'm a geologist."
And then the second that like shit goes wrong, he's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here. Hey nerd, come with me."
We're best friends now, right? Yeah, sure. That's what I fucking thought. You know.
I know you beat me up inside the bathroom.
So you know your place.
Geologists always outbeat biologists.
You have to face hug something else right now. Get down there.
It's the circle of life of scientists.
He's just getting sucked off. The circle of life. You just hear him singing it from the fucking bathroom. Oh, they're doing it again.
You know what I was thinking? Completely off topic, but it's still on topic of movies. Are they ever gonna make another Crocodile Dundee movie?
You know, I was watching Crocodile Dundee like not too long ago, and I was thinking the same thing.
You know, I liked that LA one that came out like 15
The
years
third
ago.
one?
Yeah.
I
It
can feel
feels
that.
still new to
I keep,
me.
yeah,
but-
I keep thinking that movie like a new movie. Like that came out like, yeah, probably almost 15 years ago.
Yeah. The guy's getting old, but I don't know, like, he was really cool.
Here's where I get crucified. I've never seen a Crocodile Dundee movie.
Never
You've
seen
never
Crocodile-
I've seen
Crocodile
parts
Dundee?
of them, but I've never seen a movie. Yeah.
What a great movie.
I of course saw the part of it knows about like that's not enough. This is enough. You know, of course.
I
seen
feel
that
like it's
part.
the kind of thing like Australia's like, well, they just made Indiana Jones. Hey, Bob does that too, doesn't he? Yeah, go get Bob. We'll make a movie about Bob. Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's kind of similar to the Romancing the Stone movie too, because it's kind of
Oh,
like
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
it's semi like an action movie, semi like kind of like a romance.
Yeah.
And stuff, and then pretty much in Romancing Stone, Michael Douglas is the kind of the same thing. He's like the rugged, like I'm out here, capturing birds to sell because I'm Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
and then like the chick's a writer in that one. She's a writer in the other. Or
Yeah, she's right.
yeah,
It's
I
also
was
kind of an
like-
environmentalist movie too, because remember, he's always like, he's always trying to kill, like, stop the poachers.
Yeah, he stopped
He never
the poach-
likes when people waste stuff, or, like, doesn't recycle. I just remember that kind of.
It's
stuff.
doing how like Michael Douglas sort of is in Romancing the Stone.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar. I watched them around the same time, so that's when you start to notice things like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something at one point in time? What's his name? Mustache. We love his mustache. I forget his
Josh
name.
Brolin.
Not Josh Brolin, but he's
Oh,
a
you mean
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah. I draw a blank on Burt fucking
Yeah,
Reynolds.
Longest Yard.
At one point in time, Burt Reynolds, he was gonna be like.
He's gonna shave his mustache.
Wasn't he gonna be in Indiana Jones at one point in time?
No, it was supposed to be Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Other mustache
Yeah.
man.
The other mustache man. Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
That's right.
No, Burt Reynolds. Josh Brolin. He actually shaved his mustache.
Yeah, and he hasn't grown it back since. He got kicked out of the mustache club.
I wonder if he gets like phone calls like at 2 a.m. like, "Hello."
Wait,
It's like
who's? Wait, who?
Josh Brolin.
W.
When did he have a mustache?
Before W.
Oh,
Pre
he did?
W.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's been a
I
while.
always think of him like, okay, because
It's been a while since.
I didn't really know a movie between like the Goonies and W. I hadn't really seen him, so I hadn't, of course, didn't have a mustache in the Goonies. So
Remember, he just had a big, thick one in the Goonies.
like 17.
And like he like I wonder if like he ever gets calls like at 2 a.m. just like, "Hello." I told you we're over. It hangs up on the other line. It's the mustache. You're gonna pay phone and point.
Like Burt Reynolds, like ZZ Top's beard or something like that, like shaved their beard.
I
You ever
wonder
seen a picture of ZZ Top without their beards?
It's
She's
on their
talking
early
about
albums.
Their early album, it looks like a bunch of hillbillies with like overalls on, like, how's it going? Where's ZZ Top?
Well, if you look at their first like 3 albums, like the beard grows. At first, it's like he's got like a little mustache and a little goatee.
Yeah.
And like the next one, it's a little bit longer, kind of like a Dimebag Darrell length
Yeah.
one. And then it just starts getting longer as the albums go on.
Their first album, they don't even have like the first album didn't even do any good. Did it? Was their second
It
album?
took about 3 albums to get to like somewhere.
What album was it that has like the give me all your loving, all your hugs?
I think it's Eliminator.
I mean, that's why they had their beards like.
car on the cover.
I mean, that's why they had beards. Like, we couldn't afford to shave, so by the time we got big, this was our gimmick,
Yeah.
unintentionally.
Yeah, I love that episode of King of the Hill with Dusty Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, wait.
Yeah, his name's Dusty Hill, isn't it? The bass player.
The bass, yeah.
Yeah,
the
and
bass
he's
player.
like, now son, there's a part of your family history we've been hiding from you. watch and learn, but please don't freak out. And they show him like the music video of her legs, and like he's like dancing with all like the hot girls, and Bob's like, "Oh my God, Dad, we're late to Dusty Hill." Oh. Yeah, that's a really good episode, King of the Hill.
There's another. Go back to Simpsons for a second. There's one where they're driving through Amish country. He's like, ZZ Top, you guys rock.
That's when they go to New York.
I guess we are pretty cool.
That's actually not Amish. They're actually Hasidic Jews.
Oh, they're Hasidic Jews.
Yeah, in
It's
New
been a
York.
while. I remember
Yeah.
it was something like that. Okay.
But yeah.
It's all pretty good.
It goes like, yeah, maybe a little. Like I thought it goes like, you ZZ Top, you guys rule. Actually, Bart does it too. I thought it was Homer, but it was Bart does it, and it goes like, yeah, maybe a little. Okay. Yeah. That's a great Simpsons episode.
I haven't seen Simpsons.
Only crab glass. Do you like a 7-Up or a Pepsi?
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No, only crab juice.
There wasn't a line like he's all like, what do you got? Sprite? He's like, Sprite or clam juice. He's like, oh, what horrible flavor. I love the crab juice.
He was like, Mountain Dew or crab juice. Oh, ew! I'll get a crab juice. Yeah. Yeah, and he goes like the top of the Twin Towers, and they go because in the bathroom's like.
It was the Twin Towers. I haven't seen Simpsons in so
Yeah.
long. I haven't seen any of the new episodes recently either. So, which I'm sure they're still good. It's just kind of like
One of
that
those
should
episodes,
do.
like, they're still good. It's just like whenever I've watched one every once in a while, you always like it makes you feel like what the fuck? What happened to my generation of Simpsons? Because like
I recorded them on my DVR, but now I've come to the point where like I'm like, I'm running out of space. I haven't watched these. I'll just delete them because like I don't. They try to pander they try to keep way too new. They completely abandoned their like.
Well, I feel like they're not shooting for like their old audience. It's like it's now they're shooting for like pretty much like kids of nowadays.
It's like let the dog die. Come on, this show has been going on for long enough. It's to the point like I wanted them to retire in style.
Yeah, rather than just get canceled.
And now
they're just
like whores. They're just whoring that series out. Now Matt Groening has like nothing to do with it really anymore.
Yeah,
like, it's not really even The Simpsons anymore.
Well, just was once you watching it, like now Homer and Marge aren't from the 70s; they're from the 90s now. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just,
like I was like, I understand that like those characters, obviously they don't age, but that's just too weird. Like,
and they try to pander to like new comedy too. Like they made it's like they took the writers from like 30 Rock and put them on The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah, it's just not very. Funny
I haven't
anymore.
really seen any new Simpsons. Like last Simpsons, Simpsons.
Homer's not like Homer anymore at all. He does not have like the kind of humor anymore. Now it's just like really kind of like almost like gay humor. Like he'll make like a gay joke or something like that, and they think that's funny.
Last new episode of Simpsons I saw was somewhere in 2008. That's new to me.
Yeah,
I saw like because I have them recording.
I've seen a couple of them throughout time.
They just survive off guest appearance. Like that only goes for so far. These shows kind of die when you just have to rely on your guest audience. I mean they've always had that. And, like,
I know that's kind of like one of the things Simpsons have always had.
After a while, it's like come on, like King of the Hill did it because it was a great story.
Yeah,
and they retired when they were ready, and like they retired with dignity, and they were good.
The movie seemed like a good place to end it.
I always
when we walked out of the movie, I'm like, that was a good way to end it. And then like when I bought the movie, they're like Simpsons Sunday nights. Like, oh, it's still fucking going.
Yeah, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, just so that's one of those just like it just like I don't know if there's like a newer audience for it. It must because it's still one of the most popular shows on TV. It hasn't like really lost.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe because they added that kind of 30 Rock humor, which
and I think
like.
it's like they just must have a completely different audience. Like they've transcended audiences
so
almost.
Now. It's not the same. But
I don't know. Yeah.
To be on a downer note right there.
Yeah.
I know. Well,
got an email?
No, I don't.
Oh, you got the phone. I'm like email? Oh no.
No, I was just looking at my notes. Oh, you know what movie I saw I finally saw that Porco Rosso movie.
Oh, what'd you think of that?
That was actually a pretty cool one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
It was a Miyazaki film.
Oh really?
Where it's about like in like 1920 something.
When it come
A
out?
little after World War One.
Yeah, a little after World War One, and it's pretty much it came out in 1993, I think, or 92, or 94.
And Michael Keaton does the voice of the pig in the American
version.
version.
He does the main character, and then Carrie Ells, who's like in everything animated. He's like in every single one of those Miyazaki ones for the American stuff. He's in like lots of like the Justice League things. I always just see his name. I finally saw a picture when that Flashpoint one. They showed a picture. I'm like, that's what that guy fucking.
Who's he
looks
voicing?
Like.
In Flashpoint.
He was voicing Aquaman, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, well, I saw that name like in just about every animation I was watching for the last while. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? It didn't matter how old they were too. It was like for the last like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was a really cool one. Yeah, it's about pretty much just like these kind of like plane or fighter pilots from like World War One. Now they're like pirates, just kind of roaming around like the kind of like Italy area, Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
or a little bit north too, I guess. Cause
And there's this famous pig pilot who's cursed from like a witch or something. They never really come back around to a gypsy.
Yeah,
There's always a witch. There's always a curse. In all
some
these
kind of
movies.
magic thing.
Always a cursed magic thing.
And they imply that kind of like when no one's looking at him, he turns human because there's a part where like there's this girl that's sleeping who has a crush on. She wants to fuck a pig, but
She's like 17.
yeah,
This pig's like 45.
everybody wants to fuck this 17-year-old girl in the movie. This girl by herself is able to stop all these pets. We're gonna kill this pig. We're gonna rape and pillage this whole fucking town. And the girl's like, don't do it. Like, okay. Just this
the main
one girl.
pirate
That's
leader
all
guy
it took.
thinks voiced by like Raymond's brother on Everybody Loves Raymond.
That sounded like him.
That guy does a lot of. I noticed that guy does a lot of voices on Miyazaki films.
The guy that talks like this.
Yeah.
He was also in the Goofy movie.
Yeah.
He played like the big fat guy in the Goofy movie. Yeah.
Miyazaki flicks are always well done. They always have like a really great voice cast. Because sometimes you kind of roll your eyes at like a lot of movies. Like they get the biggest actors possible.
Well, that's kind of annoying to me, just for the fact I feel like voice actors should be like, or voice acting jobs should be left to voice actors. As you know, you shouldn't be getting in like main A-list Hollywood stars. I always think
Even
that's
though,
but the
like,
Miyazaki films pull it off all right.
they pull it off fine. Like,
Princess Mononoke. It's got a lot of big name people in it, but it's a great movie.
It's
I know they're using that to sell it to like an adult audience. Like, here adults, here's something you can watch. It's animated, but
it doesn't feel crass or whorish because every once in a while you'll see like in the next Pixar, primarily DreamWorks films. A lot of DreamWorks films usually will have the biggest names at the time or biggest actors, and it just seems like no, it doesn't really fucking matter. You know?
it's mainly because it's Disney's kind of like because they're the ones doing the voice dub.
Well, I noticed Pixar a lot of the times, like Pixar or Disney films, they will have like one or two like big people, and then like people
But
like
all the rest of the voices are mostly always voice actors.
or sort of people, like I mean, I think Wreck-It Ralph, even not to bring back flashbacks, but Wreck-It Ralph that had a lot of big people in it. But usually, I noticed Disney or Pixar films would have like one or two big people and then a lot of voice actors. Where DreamWorks they just overload it.
Well,
with
it's like the top 15 characters are all like big name actors almost.
You know what I found out a while ago? You know what? I never saw any of the Cars movies, but apparently in Cars 2, Sig Hansen, the guy from Deadliest Catch, like the Norwegian guy, is in that movie.
Huh.
Apparently.
I saw Cars 1. I think I saw it was a double feature because Tokyo Drift. Let's bring this around again. That movie and Cars came out like the same day, so it's just
really?
like, fuck it, let's go see some car shit, racing, and you're like 15 years old, all like hopped up
on Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Which one came first?
I think we watched Fast and Furious first, and then we watched Cars.
And it's toned down, like after we're like, You think you want to start it the other way around on that?
Well, the Fast and Furious one we want to see more than Cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because one of those things, like, you go see, like, this, you're getting all amped up. It's kind of like, for instance, even though I like Death Proof, I'm not amazed by it, it's kind of like watching Planet Terror.
You watch Planet Terror first, and then Death Proof's the second one.
Which, you should have started with Death Proof, because Planet Terror has so much more action. It's all around just a better movie, too, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, but, like, back on Miyazaki, his films are always really good. We were talking about them on Marley's podcast, Cinephiles.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And and I talked about Porco Rosso, and that one is just a really great flick. And especially, Miyazaki will get little details that you don't see in other animes. I mean, just the small things. Like, there's the part where he's kind of, when they first show him, he has like a magazine or something over his face. He has his feet on a table. On the table, you see like, all right, wine bottles, like receipts, whatever. Just everything right there is all you need to know about that character.
Yeah, you described it.
And just like the faint motions, he adjusts himself. He like with his feet lifts up the table, readjusts himself. Just the small things.
The small like animation stuff.
You don't see that in very much anime in general. So. I always look forward to whenever Miyazaki. He has something else coming out.
There's a new one. You got that bookmark of it.
I went to a comic book store and they had a bookmark of it, and it's over there on that dressing table, so I'm good later. Just IMDb Miyazaki, you'll see it.
I always got like Miyazaki movies.
I think he's only probably it's probably another like Arrietty thing.
Or he's probably just producing and kind of running the company.
And where they say
still pretty good though. Like,
well, yeah, it's not really like bringing it down.
Arrietty was all right. It was a good movie. It wasn't an amazing movie.
Well, that's kind of a lot of Miyazaki. I always feel like there's two types of Miyazaki movies. There's ones that are just good, nothing really amazing about them, but they were good and very enjoyable. And there's ones that are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his earlier ones mostly are amazing.
No, it's more like his mid ones. I always think.
I think Totoro's amazing. That's one of his early ones.
I've never seen Totoro.
It's like his third or fourth big one.
It's one of his, because that came out in the 80s.
He uses that thing to
89.
That thing's his logo, isn't it? The fat squirrel thing.
Ghibli Studios, yeah. And but yeah, like Princess Mononoke.
But I feel like it's all like those '90s ones. I think is like the pinnacle point. Because that's when you get Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
His son took over the business actually.
Oh yeah.
Because he retired and his son now runs Studio Ghibli.
Jim Henson.
Yeah. Poor Jim Henson.
Sad day.
Well, then Howl's Moving Castle was like 2004.
Howl's Moving Castle's
That's
really
one of
good.
the best ones too.
Yeah,
That one's one. Yeah.
Oh, and Spirited Away.
Oh yeah, that was like 99.
That's a really good one too.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I seen Spirited Away though. It's like I always feel like I need to watch that movie again though, because I was like, because it was right after like the only one I really have seen was like I saw Kiki's Delivery Service, like way early on, but it was like Princess Mononoke. So you're like, oh, I can't wait for Spirited Away.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, oh, it's not really the same.
No, yeah, I didn't like it the first time.
That's how I felt too. And then you had to kind of come back and go, okay, it's not gonna be like
it's
Princess Mononoke 2.
Well, the thing about that, when you see Princess Mononoke, I mean, people who know that movie by this point, like, oh yeah, it's an amazing movie. It's really good. It has a lot of action.
Title.
But then it just like, Princess Mononoke, fuck yeah, you know. It's just kind of like, you know, like I remember when like
I saw it in theaters. It was so cool.
when I was like, I think I was like in this. You saw it in theaters?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, I remember I must have been like the 7th grade. I asked for Princess Mononoke for Christmas. My dad just gives me this look, like Princess Mononoke. Like, what do you want for Christmas? Can you give me this movie called Princess Mononoke? You just like, you know, silence, just this look of just disappointment. You hear him walk in the room and crack a beer open.
That's when you gotta like get the movie like, Dad, look at this, and I feel like the part where like you gotta like shoots at the arrow and like the two arms are pinned against like the wall or something like that. See,
I think that movie made a big impact too, because that was like one of the first like really violent animes I ever saw. Because really, it's actually not that violent now compared to other stuff. But
well, it was kind of like, it was violent, but yet there was like no like blood. There's blood in it, but it was like the parts that would make it like R, they just cut away on, because the guy's arms literally get pinned to a wall, but he just kind of stops like, oh, I remember that part. He like stops and looks like, oh fuck, I just lost those. You know?
yeah.
Or like the wolf's head gets cut off and like,
It's like flopping around and like
Yeah.
There's like blood in it, but it's not like grotesque amounts of blood. It's just the action's kind of violent in a sense.
I think for me, like the movie that was first like, wow, violence. Like probably the movie that OMO as violence was Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah,
That
for
was
live
my
action.
first like, whoa, violence. This is really violent.
Well, that came out
Holy
the perfect time. It was like
crap.
1997. It's like fucking 8 years old. Like perfect time to be like experienced into like.
Well, that movie almost has like cartoony violence. If you think about it, like that has like almost like anime almost kind of violence. Like the part where the guy that's like get melted. The guys that like left behind in the that like bug world.
Oh yeah.
Like melted. That's really freaking violent.
No, they got like super violence in that one. That movie still holds up, because I remember I was watching it. I was like, I wonder if the violence is still gonna hold up. And then every time I watch it, it's like, nope, the violence is still just as like pretty extreme as it was in '97.
Yeah.
Because some movies you kind of come back and like, oh well, that was violent, but I've seen way more violent stuff since then.
Or when I first saw Gladiator, I'm like, this is fucking violent. Now I'm just like, oh no, it's Gladiator.
Just a regular action movie.
Yeah.
The one thing about Gladiator, I like the movie, but like I really want to enjoy the beginning, but it's too confusing. It's like I know he wants the effect of it's a confusion. You're in war, but it's like I want to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, the battle's just like
The Prussians and like the Romans. Like,
it's just
like,
it's cutting and moving.
It's like, oh come on!
And you see
slow
the
down a little bit, really. Just slow down. Let me see.
I
what's
understand
going
that
on.
he wants to get this is chaos,
But like I want to see people getting killed.
well, yeah, if you're gonna put all this stuff, might as well be able to see all this cool shit you're filming.
Yeah, the only thing you can see is like when they go to the Romans and they're like all like set up in the like, bunker thing with like the shields up. And,
You
like,
see
they
the dog like pulling on someone's leg.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Fucking Gladiator.
So kind of, I was already.
Not Gandalf. What's his name? Dumbledore in that movie.
He was the original
Yeah.
Dumbledore,
Yeah.
because because they went like 3 or 4 Dumbledores.
Yeah.
There's like that Dumbledore. I want to say there's a Dumbledore. The Dumbledore they had in the second one was a different guy, and then the third one on, I want to say they stuck with the same guy.
Yeah, I think the first two they had the same guy, and they died in the third one.
I want to say Harry
because
Potter
they
was his
changed
last movie.
directors in the third Harry Potter movie.
Well, then they started changing directors a lot more.
Did they change directors in the second one, or was it the?
Well, the first two they had the same director, and I liked the director of the first two movies. And then, like,
That's the guy who did Home Alone and Rent.
he did. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he did a good job in the first two movies, and the third one, like, I just didn't like it because it just felt a little strange.
Really, I like the third one more than I like the first two.
I don't like the third one that
I like
much.
the second one a lot.
The second one I thought's pretty good. I really like the. I think it's actually one of those series for the most part gets better as it goes on.
Yeah.
Because it got darker, it got more adult.
The last book. Don't talk about the end of it if you said it because I haven't finished it. But
You never finished the last
no,
book?
don't talk about the end of it. But the only that pisses me off about it is it's like he does all this crap. He like works through all this crap, and then he just kind of like he's like, oh well, I'm just not gonna go back to school now. I'm gonna go to school
he's
for
on the
7 years. And fuck, I'm gonna.
He's
go
on the
I
run.
don't even
People
fuck-
are hunting him down to
I
kill
don't even
him.
pay for school for crying out
But
loud.
it just it's like you just finish it. Come on, I don't care. You have to put up with like this shit for like 6 months. Just finish this shit. Then you
Watch
can go kill
the
Dark
movie.
Lord.
He goes back to school in
No,
a sense.
don't talk about it. I haven't seen it.
Watch the movie first.
Yeah.
He's on the run.
Yeah, but
when
still.
people are on the run, it's
Well, I've read like half of the book. half of that, and like I'm like I have refused to see the movie yet. At some point, I will see those 2 movies.
I'll be honest, I'm much more interested in him fighting off dark wizards and monsters than him sitting in class like, gee, I sure hope I go to the big dance with my
The class is kind of like the only thing about Harry Potter, because like sometimes when I watch it, and if I really think about it, I'm like, you know what? If you went to this school, you would probably hate like almost all these people here. Because there's
magic for Princeton.
It's really magic. Yeah, like Ron and fucking Harry are the only 2 poor kids who are the.
And Hermione.
She's not poor.
She's not poor.
No, she's rich. Remember?
Yeah.
Her parents
Is she
are
rich?
Her parents are dentists.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never
So
mind.
yeah, Ron and fucking Harry are the only 2 poor people.
Yeah.
And they're really just kind of like one's like, well, they've been kind of like grandfathered into this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, probably everybody's like, we really want to get rid of this fucking Ron kid. Fucking it's the only Irish guys that seem to have been stuck in this school. You know, this used to be a proud English school.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, though, at one point, we allowed one Irish guy to come in.
And
who knows that lineage would have lasted forever?
They just. Well, you look at those parents. You know those parents because Ron's parents have like 12 or 10 kids. You know the second
Yeah.
they're like, okay,
It's like the redneck English family.
we gotta send them all off to school. Why? So we can fuck. We can't fuck it all.
The more kids we have, the more we get back on taxes. That's the only way we can afford this school.
You see, like their house is like apparently like it's funny they
live in a
explain in the
shoe
book
or
how
something, don't they?
No.
Don't they live in a shoe? Oh, it's a weird house.
No,
It's a weird
like,
shaped
house
house.
like keeps being built on. They're like, well, we have another kid. Gotta build another floor up.
Up in their room on that whole house right there.
Yeah. I just don't understand like how like in the movie like I remember in the book they like make it seem like oh that Ginny girl's so hot Ron's sister ugh. She doesn't seem very hot to me.
She got hotter as she got older. I mean, I wouldn't say she's
Gingers.
hot. She was cute, but as she got older, she got kind of cuter.
Yeah, but it's just kind of weird. It's like everyone thought like oh yeah Hermione yeah she got hot. I'm like
I think
I
Emma
was
Watson
Hermione
got
was
hot.
I don't think so.
When you look back at like obviously yeah she's younger and she has a fucking like I think like by number I guess by probably the 5th movie I'd say she got kind of hot because she still had the up to that point she still had the fucking frizzy like afro kind of hair.
Afro hair, yeah. I remember it's funny.
A British afro.
I usually like this kind of like Facebook things are kind of dumb. It's just like has like something like a saying and like a picture. But one I thought was kind of funny. I saw a while ago. Someone posted like a thing of like Gordon Ramsay, the guy does like a Hell's Kitchen thing. You know that English
I know
guy's
that
like,
guy
he's like
is.
fuck you, you're not a fucking cook, like that guy. Or it's like just like I said like you put so much fucking ginger in this, it's called a Weasley.
That's pretty
That
good.
was pretty funny. So, yeah.
No, but yeah, no. I didn't think about that tax return on all those kids. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like the only reason they're probably having so many kids is because they get more money from the government this way.
Does it work that way? It works that way in America. Does it work that way in England?
It's
And
gotta work probably even more in England because England
Even a magic society?
Than, like,
Yeah.
Because really, when it gets down to like the major countries, like America's the one that's kind of stuck the farthest behind, and like we want to stay as far away from that socialism as all you Europeans and Canadians and everybody else on the face of the earth, and you Cubans, and everybody else that circles us. Because really,
French and you.
America's really gonna be like the last country. It's gonna be like we should not gonna become partially socialism.
Yeah. Like France was like, fuck yeah, we'll do it right
like
away.
it's working good for France, isn't it?
Every country just about in like Europe,
Yeah.
you know, Canada, Cuba. I don't know.
Mexico's gonna get on the
Just switch over
bandwagon
to
soon
you.
enough.
Yeah, Mexico's close to it probably at least.
Switch over to the euro. Why
I have no
not?
idea what Mexico's government really is, actually, to tell you the truth.
It's not really a government right now. Yeah.
Just switch over to the euro.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be easier if it just everybody had one single currency.
Yeah.
Well, they were gonna do
Then when you buy on eBay, you wouldn't have to go like, oh look, oh, it's not $7, it's actually.
Hold
$16.
on, Old Man Orange podcast. You mean to tell me my granddaddy died in World War II just so we can come some socialist, communist country? Fuck y'all!
And that's how America kind of lasts, though.
Yep, sounds like it.
So yeah. Anyway, so what we learned today.
That Ron's parents,
Take advantage of the tax system by lots of fucking.
that Superman
We barely talked about Superman Unbound, but
has
check
bought
out.
a Lois Lane in his heart, but she needs to be released free.
Otherwise, she will flip the bird, the
On
double
radio.
bird, and that's Westboro Baptist Church is a bunch of fucking assholes, and may Jeff Henneman, that rest in peace, Henneman, after that's his name.
And then if Flash goes back in time and tries to save his mother, he fucks everybody else's life up, unless you're Cyborg.
Man it up, Flash. Man it up. He like Cyborg. He has his shit together.
Maybe because he's a cyborg, like time doesn't affect him. It's just like, oh, I'm just the same character no matter what.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, send us some emails at
oldmanorange.podcast@yahoo.com. And make sure to check out oldmanorange.com, the center place for everything Old Man Orange and more.
I'll have more grit pages for issue 2 posted very soon, also, if you're interested.
So till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And I'm Cisco Garcia.
And we will see you some other time.
Goodbye.